Welcome to Module 27, Managing Expense Reports. In today's professional landscape, businesses track and manage expenses to maintain financial health, ensure tax compliance, and optimize budgeting. As a virtual assistant, you will often be responsible for compiling, reviewing, and managing expense reports for your clients. This module will equip you with the knowledge and skills to handle expense reports effectively, ensuring accuracy, efficiency, and adherence to financial policies. Learning objectives. By the end of this module, you will be able to understand the fundamentals of expense management and its significance in business operations, accurately compile and categorize expense reports, utilize industry-standard tools for tracking and reporting expenses, implement best practices for reviewing, approving, and storing expense reports. Communicate effectively with clients and employees regarding reimbursement policies. Key concepts and breakdown. 1. Understanding expense reports. Expense reports are detailed summaries of business expenditures incurred by employees, contractors, or executives. They typically include date of transaction, when the expense was incurred. Description, the nature of the expense. Category, travel, office supplies, meals, software, etc. Amount spent, the total cost of the item/service. Receipts and supporting documents, proof of the expense for verification. Reimbursement status, whether the expense is pending or paid. 2. The expense reporting workflow. A systematic approach ensures that expenses are tracked accurately and reported in a timely manner. The workflow typically includes expense submission. Employees submit their expenses along with receipts. Review and verification. The virtual assistant reviews and categorizes expenses. Approval process. Expenses are approved by the finance department or a designated client. Reimbursement and record keeping. Approved expenses are reimbursed and records are stored for accounting purposes. 3. Compliance and best practices. To ensure accuracy and prevent errors or fraud, virtual assistants should verify all receipts and supporting documents. Ensure compliance with company policies and tax regulations. Standardize expense categories for consistency. Follow up on pending approvals and payments. Maintain secure digital records for easy access and audits. Tools and techniques. Virtual assistants can leverage various tools to streamline expense tracking and reporting. Below are some industry-standard platforms. Expensify automates expense tracking and reporting, integrating with accounting software. QuickBooks, a widely used accounting tool with built-in expense management features. Wave, free financial software for small businesses that includes expense tracking. Zoho Expense, a cloud-based expense reporting tool with advanced analytics. Google Sheets/Excel, manual tracking and report generation for customized reporting. Techniques for efficient expense management. Automate receipts management. Use apps like Expensify that scan and extract data from receipts. Set up expense categories. Establish clear categories to make tracking and reporting easier. Schedule periodic reviews. Conduct weekly or monthly expense audits to catch discrepancies early. Use cloud storage. Save receipts and reports in platforms like Google Drive or Dropbox for easy access. Practical exercises and case studies. Exercise 1. Expense report creation. Download an expense report template, Google Sheets/Excel. Enter sample expenses for a week, categorizing them correctly. Submit the report as if you were sending it to a client. Exercise 2. Identifying expense errors. Analyze a provided expense report and identify any errors, missing receipts, or misclassified expenses. Write a brief summary explaining the corrections you made. Case study. Virtual assistant for a marketing agency. Imagine you are a virtual assistant managing the expense reports for a small marketing agency. Employees frequently travel for client meetings, purchase stock photos, and use various software subscriptions. You receive multiple expense claims, some missing receipts, and a few categorized incorrectly. What steps would you take to correct and streamline the reporting process? Discuss your approach. Assessment and knowledge check. Quiz questions. What are the key components of an expense report? A. Name, phone number, job title, date, description, category, amount, receipt, invoice number, client feedback, email address, none of the above. Which tool is not commonly used for expense tracking? A. QuickBooks, Expensific, Photoshopped, Wave. Why is compliance important in expense management? A. To ensure expenses align with company policies and legal requirements. B. To allow employees to spend freely. C. To increase unnecessary paperwork. D. To avoid tracking expenses altogether. Scenario-based question. Your client asks you to review an expense report submitted by an employee. You notice that some amounts do not match the receipts, and a few transactions are missing descriptions. How would you handle this situation? Actionable takeaways and next steps. Key takeaways. Expense reports are essential for financial tracking and reimbursement. Virtual assistants must ensure accuracy, compliance, and timeliness in managing expenses. Industry-standard tools like QuickBooks and Expensify can simplify the process. Following best practices in record-keeping and auditing prevents errors and fraud. Next steps. Start tracking personal or business expenses using a template. Explore expense management tools and test their features. Apply the learned principles to a real or simulated client scenario. By mastering expense report management, virtual assistants add significant value to businesses, making them indispensable in financial operations.